Oh yeah, this used to pull the cars people used to ride on. Now on the steam engine, well, it runs on steam. So what do you need to make steam? Who knows? What do you need to make steam? What? Coal? Okay. Coal to do what? What do we use coal? Well, and make
water.
Fire. Hot. Water. Somebody say water? Yeah. There you go. Fire or heat and water make steam. This is the firebox right here. Up there is the boiler. Back here is the tender. The front part of the tender held the coal. The last part of the tender was a giant water tank. All that was moved up here. Fire burned here. Water boiled in here. Steam went down to the pistons. The whole thing moved forward. Fully loaded, this thing was about 585,000 pounds. So a little on the heavy side. Anyway, and on board the steam engine, you had at least two people. You had an engineer and a fireman. What's the fireman do? What do you do? He does today. Back then, the fireman's job was to keep the fire going. No fire, no go. Now, as you can see, we also have several passenger cars attached to our train here. Each one has a bit of a history or story to it, as with anything. Now, I will warn you ahead of time. There have been some reports of unusual activity. You know, some paranormal goings on, if you will. But not to worry, if anybody sees a ghost, we do a pretty good job keeping our ghosts under control. No sweat there. If you want to check it out, follow me. Let's go on down these steps.
Okay. We're on is a Pullman sleeping car, built by Pullman Standard, and they weren't even in the railroad business. They were in the hotel business. They built hotels on wheels, finance wheels to be exact. And these cars are used on the using the back end of passenger trains for people paid an extra fare. They could lay down and sleep overnight instead of sitting up in a day coach all the time. And it worked very well for many, many years. In fact, you can still do it on Amtrak. But this car has some historical significance. It was one of the original cars on the Broadway Limited on the Pennsylvania Railroad, put in service in 1923, and it ran from New York to Chicago for many years.
Behind us here.
Well, scoot up this way, Jack.
No, they're all trying to get in the car.
Don't leave us. Don't leave us, Pumpkin.
Everybody in yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, you say yeah, but that means you still in.
Yeah.
You got everybody?
Yeah.
Okay. And after the elegance of the Pullman sleeper you were just on, this is the other extreme. This car is known as a combine. Has a passenger compartment right where you are now. A smoking lounge behind me. They separated smokers and non-smokers in those days too. And then the forward part is the baggage section. Now this type of car was used on a rural line, on a branch line, where there wasn't enough business for a regular passenger train. So they hung this on either front end or back end of a freight train, and it had no steam heat from the engine like a passenger train would. So there's a stove back there and one on the other end. That's how the car was heated. And it was used to just transport people through little small towns and on a branch line. Let's move on to the baggage.
It was used to sort mail while the train moved along. The men and women, and there were usually 5 people, could toss letters up in the top of this, and then open it up to put it in one of these sacks. While the train was moving, there was a hook on the outside, and there would be a pole with a big bag of mail near the depot, and the train wouldn't even have to stop. This hook would grab the mail, and they'd bring it in, and they could sort the mail. And the same thing could happen in the other direction. When they had a bag of mail to drop off, say at Worthington or Columbus, they could just throw it out the door of the train and wouldn't even have to stop the train. Well, this particular car, one night, right around Halloween, had a very interesting adventure. And here's how the story goes. The engineer got orders to stop at a station that they'd never stopped at before in the middle of the night. Well, the train stopped, and the engineer got off, and right at the depot was this big box. And it was addressed to Worthington, Ohio. He called the postman to get off to help him load the box onto this very car. And they loaded it on, and the engineer said, "I'm going to start up the train because I'm very nervous." And he started the train up, and as soon as it started to move, the box began to moan and groan. And the post people were all upset. But Al, the postmaster, said, I'm not going to have any problem with this. I'm going to pry open the box and look inside. Well, he pried open the box, and that coffin was inside.
Oh my
And
gosh.
everybody begged, not asked, Al to throw the coffin off the train because they knew it was haunted. Well, Al said, I don't have any problem with looking to see what's inside. And they were like, please don't do that, Al. Well, he opened up the top of the coffin, and there was this note inside from the mortician, and it said, here lies the body of Mary the Unpure. She's trouble for sure. Never ever look at her. Stay away from this coffin, whatever you do. If you see her face, something terrible will happen to you. Well, old Al stared her right in the eye. And here's Al today turned into a skeleton.
Oh my God.
All right,
Don't look her in the eye, Jack.
Mary.
Jack, don't look at her. Don't look at
If you
her.
look at her on the way home tonight, you might turn into a skeleton.
Jack, don't look at her. Don't look at her.
Jack, I don't know.